spoil her with some soul trends. Good girl, no more, she on my team when I hang. You hear the echoes when bass scream, living that bay life. It's alright, you feeling depressed and go outside. The weed and the season make these hard times. Worth every time you spend on no life. Coulda take a staycation to Santa Cruz. Tow a car, I got drank. Bring the shoe, bring the speaker for the slap. Yeah, set the mood.
Hello, good afternoon, evening. Evening. Good evening. Hello. Welcome to Mrs. Best Reviews. I'm messing up my intro. We have James from the Watch Your Mouth Reviews channel who is here with us as always. We're going to go over Love and HipHop Miami Season 5, Episode 8. And I'm seeing a lot of y'all on IG. Someone DM'd me, Tama something. Shout out to you. Thank you for subscribing. She was hoping, yes, we will be discussing Fabo. He is a part of the episode.
Ma'am, if you can see me, she can see me, right? Ma'am, if you can see me, you have no idea. We're going to be talking about him, all right. Absolutely.
Listen, he's ready. He was excited for this recap, y'all. And it's funny because he's like, I don't want to deal with Love and Hip Hop. But he's been like thoroughly for Love and Hip Hop Miami, not Atlanta. James has been happy to be here.
I'm happy to be on my best friend's channel. I could really care less about these TV shows, you know, but hey, this episode,
it was wild. I think there's a lot of important topics are going to come up. And so we will just hop on into it. So the episode starts with Amara La Fake scenes, and she is basically packing to go to the DR, Dominican Republic, for those who are unfamiliar. Basically, her father is sick. We saw a couple seasons ago, I would say. Her father came around. He wasn't in her life. He wasn't that present. There's really no excuse for that, but his is he didn't want to deal with her mom. So they've been working on rebuilding their relationship as father and daughter, but he did go back to Dominican Republic because he could not live with her mama, and I don't blame him. So basically SAFAREE ends up coming over to Amara's house and she's upset. SAFAREE went on Twitter. I guess people still use it, but SAFAREE went onto Twitter and he put out a tweet that was basically saying that like FaceTime sex is better than the real thing. And Amara took offense to this and it's like, I need to talk to him about this because we're supposed to be dating and we ain't FaceTime or had sex. So she's upset about that. And then she ends up, when expressing that to SAFAREE, crying about all of her, you know, her daddy issues, basically. It was a little odd. I could tell he did not know how to like respond to that because he's probably like, look, we didn't rehearse this. Like, because y'all know I don't buy that they're a real couple. I don't buy that their relationship is real. I think it's all for the show because that's just how I feel. But basically, when she brings up the sex FaceTime tweet, he's basically like, you can't believe everything you say on the internet. SAFAREE does the same thing he does, where he doesn't deny what he did, but he also doesn't answer the person's question. He kind of like dodges it. So what are your opinions on what happened, James? A quick opinion, not to be rude, because I don't want to waste too much time on a model.
That's my opinion. That's exactly what I don't because that shit was stupid. That shit is ridiculous on both parts. One, if that is how he feels, that is how he feels. I know people who like to masturbate before having sex. Who the fuck cares? Why would that trigger you?
Here's the thing. I think that people today, it's that same conversation of social media and relationships. You got to find a way to separate it, especially if you're dating someone who's telling you they're doing stuff that's controversial. Like, who cares? You knew that he tweeted like this before you got with him. Nothing has changed.
Nothing has changed. And the point of the matter is that you bringing up these daddy issues and this trauma and all this and stuff. Being true be told, none of that has nothing to do with what he was talking about. He's talking about what he likes to do. And mind you, if we're supposed to buy into this, y'all have been together for, for the sake of this show since the beginning. He has not been with you that long to determine you were who he was talking about. Ma'am. She's starting to irritate me. Last episode, she irritated me.
Starting to irritate you?
Well, here's the thing. I never paid her no attention. So you can't irritate me when I don't pay you any of attention. Last episode, she triggered me because I felt like the way you coming off as a friend made me think about the times you were on the show, season 1 and season 2, when you fought that little chubby girl, and then, fuck Shay. So, no, never mind. But, yeah.
I cannot.
About her. But what I'm saying is her friendship levels bother me, and then her relationship triggers and decisions even make it more apparent. So that's why I said I don't really care. Move on.
Okay. So we're gonna move on from Amada for now. We're gonna try and go over it so everybody can like get their little opinions. And what's good, Gerald Luger the third, Big Jerry. I miss you, friend. I do.
Yo.
He's in Arizona. He hella far in the heat. Anywho, we're gonna move it along. We are gonna go into Trick Daddy Dollars, whatever the hell he calls himself now. I hope he's taking his lupus medication. We should all, like, as a community, push Trick Daddy to take his medication, especially if we don't want to look at this water bug type of thing on our. We want him to take his medication. We do.
Between y'all calling this man a water bug, Bondi Blue on YouTube calling him the Mucinex monster, I cannot with y'all. Y'all go because I can't even look at this man. He looks
like a water bug.
Leave this man up.
Right before they mate, because their color changes and their skin, the shell, they start to shed it.
No, I'm not doing this with you. No,
Listen,
I'm not doing this. I worked
in a pet store for like 11 years. There's a lot I know about bugs and shit that I probably shouldn't, but they Jerry Luker says he does look like a water bug. Listen, Trick Daddy was never cute to me though. Like years ago, he's never been. I don't know if it's because he's old enough to be my actual daddy or what, but Trick Daddy he's not attractive. That's why I'd be concerned when he be on the internet talking about he likes to spread it wide and get his man butthole eaten. And I want to just put the PSA out there publicly.
I forgot he said that.
Listen,
now I look at Joy completely different now.
Because you wonder, are you guys really eating butt? Because like, is that really a thing? I don't eat booty. I don't. My husband's never asked me to do that. So like, and I wouldn't if he did. We might have to go to counseling if he asked me, because I'd be like, what's real? I can't with Jerry Luger. Like Master P Bubble.
Y'all move on. I'm not doing this with y'all tonight. We got a lot to talk about here. Like we got a lot to
I'm trying. Let me Jerry's gonna have me crack it up. So Trick Daddy meets with his friend Carla. And one thing about Trick that we do know is that he maintains friendships for years. Like he's really from Miami. That man ain't moving. He loves his community. So he has his friend Carla he's had for many years, over 20 years, like since the beginning of his career. And basically she's cooking with him. And I enjoyed that. I want some of the food. You
know what? I'm going to have to go to his restaurant if it's still open. I'm going to have to go because it's not
far. Oh, yeah, you're kind of close.
Yeah, it's not far from me. So I'm going to have to see what it's hidden for. I'm going to have to
give us a review.
No, I ain't going to do all that. Ma'am, I live in South Florida. I am not doing that because you ain't going to come get me on my little YouTube channel.
He said Floridians is real. But basically, we find out that Carla, who's Trick Daddy's friend, she has twin daughters. She says that she wants him to put the twins on with music. She wants him to basically help, mentor them, get them in the industry. And he says he's against it. She proceeds to say, well, give it a try anyway. And they're going to be coming to Miami. And they're going to need to stay with you. So I'm like, oh, y'all real close friends. Because I guarantee you every dollar I have to my name, credit and all, y'all, that if I call James and I say, hey, Me and Josiah's child gonna come live with you. He wants to be a writer. He need you to help him get his big break. James is gonna hang up on me because he's gonna know that I should not have done that. And then he's gonna be like, what the hell were you thinking to ask me that? So that's what ends up happening. I'm not gonna like go over that too much for commentary. It looks like they know each other. We're gonna meet the twins a little later in the episode. So I'm gonna just leave that there for now, unless there's anything James wants to like say about it.
I have a comment. If your child were to come to me and talk about he wanted to be a writer, depending on how rich I become at that time, I might actually do it. But the problem that I have now, if you ask me today, you ain't got no kids, but if you would ask me that today, broke as my ass is, I'm still trying to get my next book out. Absolutely not gonna happen right now. I got to get myself.
I can't help nobody else.
I can't help nobody right now. Let me get the success that my pinnacles is trying to reach right now, and then we can talk about that. I just wanted to say that.
Child, I cannot. So Trick Daddy has these twins that we're gonna get to meet, y'all. So we'll come back to that. Not much happened. I thought it was cute. The mac and cheese looked really good, and that's really all I could say. Von Shay and Gunplay. Hot Mess Express. So we see her with her parents and this fine brother from the Secret Service, y'all. Fine. I said, oh, look at this. So her mentor is fine. He's a part of the Secret Service, which I watched like a documentary on the training to get into the Secret Service. It is not a joke. So I'm like,
that is beyond military training. I don't know what kind of shape them men and women are in to be able to do all of that shit.
Crazy.
Like, and we're talking, that was only, the documentary didn't talk about them taking them to, not Antarctica or something, but like a part of Alaska where they have to actually run in that snow. They didn't talk about that, which I'm shocked the documentary did not touch on, because that is something they do teach them.
He said they got to put their ass on the snow. That's how you know I can never do that.
They do. They put them right. They put them right. They literally with like shorts and like a tank top, and they have to run. I've seen that in all kind of conditions. It is crazy.
I do not like the snow. I remember my previous job when I worked at Car Hop, they sent me to Minnesota, and coming back, because it was like the end of October, it started to snow for the first time. I must have learned about black ice. I learned that snow is not pretty and white. I don't like snow. I don't. And then I went back to some snow some years later. My sister was like, let's go to the snow for Thanksgiving. Bunch of black people in the snow. We was unhappy. People came back injured, cold. I said, listen, it was not the thing that should have happened. Anywho, just so everybody knows, I do not like snow. I don't like the heat and I don't like cold weather. So I don't know where I'm supposed to live, y'all. But I'm going to figure it out.
I think that's a Bay Area thing, because I'm in the same way. I lived in Arizona for 14 years. No, absolutely not. Would never go back. I now live in South Florida where it's just as hot. And I'm just like, well, I just can't escape hot weather. But I'd rather be in hot weather than
keep ending
snow.
Up in hot weather.
I keep ending up in hot weather. Yeah, I keep ending up in some place where it's hotter than imaginable. So yeah,
listen, Anywho, I'm cracking up because he knows when I went to Arizona, I kept telling him, James, it's so hot. I'm happy to see you, but it's so hot. It was awful. Anywho. Von Shay is Gunplay's wife. She is only 24. Yes, y'all, he's robbing the cradle. And she obviously doesn't know any better, comes from a good family, all of those things. Basically, she's at dinner with her parents, her mentor, and everybody because she's preparing to graduate. Her dissertation, she is getting a PhD in criminal justice. She wants to work as a federal agent. Or I can't remember what she wants to do.
I think she's a federal prosecutor. I think that's
federal prosecutor.
Yeah.
Okay. So she has a lot to do. But she's at this dinner and Gunplay's there. It seems everybody is getting along until Gunplay and Von Shay's mom go to talk. Now, y'all know from earlier episodes when we first saw Von Shay and Gunplay, basically, we find out that her parents do not like him for her, as they shouldn't. Gunplay is a friend of Rick Ross, who is a grown man with children who are about to be adults. Nobody wants their 24-year-old daughter to marry a man literally the same age as her parents. That's weird. It's so weird.
That, like, even, okay. See, I have this issue because it's not even the age difference. It is the intellect. Like, what do y'all have of common ground to talk about? in this marriage.
Listen.
Because to me, it seems like from his standpoint, this is to control someone, and from her standpoint, this is to rebel against her family. I said this from episode 1, and this scene with her family proved my point.
Mm-hmm.
It did. This was her rebelling against her family's wishes.
So her mom, in part of expressing she doesn't like Gunplay, wrote a letter. I'm not going to go over everything that was in it, but she basically in the letter said he's a drug addict, like basically listed all the reasons why he's not good for Vanshay. And in listing those reasons, she referred to Gunplay's mom as a crazy Jamaican lady. I don't remember what she said about the father, but Gunplay is stuck on this as an immature human being would be. So basically the mom and Gunplay get a chance to talk, and the mom says, like, look, I didn't want to approach you guys at the baby's like sip and see, whatever the hell that was for the baby, because that's your event and I would never embarrass my daughter or you publicly. So she tries to talk to him. She says she feels like they just haven't gotten a chance to get to know each other. The mom actually tried this time. She did try. And Gunplay was just like, oh, you're going to talk about how you, what you said about my parents. It's like he was not talking like he wanted to have a resolution. He was talking as if he wanted all the smoke with this lady's parents. And it's very strange to me for anybody to talk to their in-laws or anything like that. But that's what he ends up doing. So basically, he ends up getting upset, gets up, walks away, storms off cursing. And then we see Vanshay's dad finally get upset. He pulling off his mic, like ready to come after Gunplay, as he should, because it's like, okay, it's one thing to have you out here ruining my daughter's life, impregnating her with your child, having her look a fool on the internet, bringing our family into the public eye, but now you disrespected my wife? Listen, that man, he forgot about his education for a moment. He wanted at Gunplay. So what do you think about the scene? I'm like, everything that she's getting, she's been warned about in his law.
I'm gonna come back to this because I need you to get to the point to that other motherfucker that we can talk about. So, and then I'll tie Gunplay into their situation because
he's waiting on
something is wrong
with these men.
Something is incredibly wrong with these men. So I'm going to reserve my silence for Gunplay for now.
My mom is, sadly, y'all, she's one of the most disrespectful people. She really is. She give my husband problems just for no reason. And he ain't never even yelled back at her. He just walk away. He won't like, why are you arguing with your spouse's parents? One. But men, why are you sitting there doing all that with a woman? Like, stop.
Boom. That's what I was. That's why I say you get to that.
Yeah, it's the best. James is like, we need to get to it. So the next thing we see, because that wasn't much, Gunplay stormed off like the child that he is, upset and drunk. And Vanshay was, oh my God, this is not okay, Richard. And, all this stuff. We'll see. I'm not surprised at any of it. So Ray J, I hate reporting on Ray J. I can't take him seriously. Ray J and SAFAREE are at the gym. And y'all know I said I did not believe Ray J's storyline about him and Princess having problems. She got a gambling issue, but is able to be in the poker tournament, all that bullshit. So now they're magically good. I guess coming to Miami solved all their problems. Weird. So SAFAREE tells Ray J while they're in the gym that Amada had a breakdown, and Ray J's like, well, what'd you do when she had her breakdown? SAFAREE's like, I told her to chill out. So Ray J's like, you can't do that. Ray J brings up the fact that Amada La Negra is in the DR, in the Dominican Republic, visiting Alan. And he's basically trying to insinuate that Amada went to the DR and is messing with Alan because she's mad at SAFAREE. I said, Ray J, not everybody operates like you, darling. It doesn't work that way. So Ray was being messy. He didn't say she didn't cheat, but then he said, he go tell Ray J is too much. He says to SAFAREE, his advice to SAFAREE, if you gonna be there for Amara, then be there for her. Like, okay, that's the advice. Why did
I'm
we
like,
have to have this scene?
right. This
VH1
was such
producers,
a
stop.
okay.
Like,
Like,
stop. It's enough. Take Ray J off the show. Let him run his little businesses. Leave Princess on the show so that she can interact with these women. But like,
no, you can take her with. No, he can take her with her.
he said he could
No,
take her with her.
no, he could take her. He could take
He
her with
said
him.
we don't need
No,
any
I
of
don't
you.
need. I don't need her. No, because she irritates. She irritates me when she's on this show with the other women without him. She irritates me because then she starts to think like, and I say this about biracial women all the time. Whenever it comes to Black people and this solidarity thing that y'all like to, wish upon about how I'm a Black woman, I'm struggling. The moment you get into it with a Black woman, then you like to disassociate yourself from that solidarity and go over to that other side. Princess has done it on this exact franchise with the lady I do not like that's not on the show anymore. Thank fucking God, because she irritated me. And because it's like, to me, there's no point in claiming yourself to be a Black woman when it's convenient for you to be one. There's no point in that.
You know what? Princess does do that.
Yes, she does, and it's irritating.
I do. Other than that, there's not much that happened with Ray J and SAFAREE, so I'm gonna just move on from them people. I mean, it's like, okay. They're setting us up for more scripted scenes from Amada and SAFAREE, you guys. So the next scene we get is Trick Daddy. He is meeting with Asia and Deja, I believe. Those are the twins of his
that okay. I did not remember. I did not remember this scene, and I felt bad. I was like, "Oh, she's gonna kick my ass."
Because no, I'm not gonna kick your ass because I got 3 sentences, boo, in my notes. We gonna ship it through quickly because we see them on the cooking show that Trick Daddy has, and basically the twins are on the show. They're very confident in how they rap, and they're like, "We coming for Trina's spot," and all this other stuff. I was wondering the same thing, y'all. Why are they called the fucking Hollywood twins? There is a Hollywood in Florida. There is not just a Hollywood in California. There is the city of Hollywood in Florida. There's also a few other states that have a Hollywood County.
Yes.
There are, so that is why they call themselves that. And no, it's not the largest city in Florida. I had a cousin that ended up there for some reason in Hollywood, Florida, but that's the only reason I know. Anywho, so we didn't get much from them. They just showed them on the cooking show. They was talking about, oh, we're gonna come for Trina, and they just seem to be doing all of this and that. Okay, period. You know how everyone's copying each other and saying and using trends and words that was used by our parents in the 60s. It's a whole lot of that. So we'll get more from them in a moment. So the next thing we see is Shay has Fabo, who is her baby daddy, and her mother, Sandra. They have a sit down. In the previous episode, this is very important. In the previous episode, when everything went down at the baby shower, Fabo agreed to apologize to Sandra and apologize to Shay for his behavior. Shay said that she was going to set up the meeting, told her mother that she was owed an apology, and all of that. So this is that meeting. So they get to the meeting, they have the baby there and all of that. And then Fabo and Sandra end up talking alone while Shay takes Shajaya, who's little baby, and goes elsewhere. That's mistake number one. And y'all gonna see why I'm saying that. Y'all gonna see why I'm saying that. So Fabo says in the conversation the exact opposite of everything he agreed to Shay that he would say and how he felt. He says that he disrespected no one. And the only thing that he would do, because the mom is like, but you raised your voice to me, so that's disrespectful to me. So then he apologizes for raising his voice, but not being disrespectful. Because this, in my opinion, is a narcissistic, sociopathic human being who has to have control and power over females. And I'm not even going to get into the necessities of that because I have the education on that. A lot of y'all don't. And I'm telling you, I know what I'm saying with this man. He's dangerous. But we're going to continue. So basically, the mother explained what happened with the dog. And the situation was Shay talked to her mom and said, Mom, can you please keep the dog for a year until Jaya is old enough? For those of you who know, I know some of you do it, but you should not have your newborn babies around no pets like that. You just shouldn't. It's how it goes. So that was the plan. When it came time in the year past, as we know from her birthday party, she asked Shay about it. Shay says, ask Fabo about it. She asked Fabo about it. He gets upset and disrespects her and all this stuff. So basically, when she's explaining what happened with the dog, he blames MJ and says, but he's the one who made it a problem. But he forgets that MJ only came into the conversation and was actually minding his business in them stupid ass hats he loves. Him and his hat was in the corner minding his business until he noticed someone not just raising their voice at his mother, but like aggressive body language and all this extra stuff. So that is why MJ got involved. And Fabo just don't know how to disrespect no one. And obviously forgot that he was filmed because he's not intelligent, clearly. So basically, when she is trying to talk, he interrupts her after she responds to him trying to blame MJ. And he tells to her, it's my turn to talk. And that's where he goes from just rude to not giving any fucks about being rude. And he just disrespected this woman. He was overly aggressive with her mother. Like, even if this was not his mother-in-law, if this was a woman his age, he was over aggressive. If this was a man, he was overly aggressive. This man is rude as hell and don't know how to talk to people. He disrespects her mother. And basically we see him getting upset, and security had to step in because he was getting in that older woman's face, his elder's face. And I'm saying that for a reason. I don't believe in disrespecting my elders. Like, I don't play like that. I don't play them type of games. When I see my elders getting disrespected in public, I'm that stranger that'll be like, shut the fuck up and get your shit together. Don't disrespect your elders. And Sandra is his elder. Security comes, splits them up. Shay comes back after he storms off. And her mom, I could tell she was shaken, but all she could say calmly, do not marry this man. Do not marry this man. She said that with such grace. She said that with such grace. And Shay acknowledged in the confessional that he did disrespect her mother again. And in my opinion, she needs to leave him. But the issue I have is, before we get to it, because we will talk about Shay, because we do have more of this where we're going to discuss MJ and Sandra meeting, but we'll do that in a little bit. Shay, it reminds Bucky. Now listen, girl, I remember watching Flavor of Love season 1. This was before Bucky, y'all. Okay, this was before Bucky. And New York made it to the finale. Everyone's parents came. And then her mom came, Sister Patterson. And when Sister Patterson disrespected Flavor Flav, he disrespected her right back, which he should not have done. So I'm just like, is this like something from Flavor of Love? Shay, are you remembering William Drayton? Are you remembering Flavor Flav? What's going on that you walk away? Why the fuck would you walk away when every time that your back is turned, he disrespects your family? If you know that there's been an issue of the he said, she said of the dude being disrespectful, right? And you weren't there the first time, why would you think it to be smart to leave him alone, to have the conversation? That's your man and your mama, Shay. Grow the fuck up. Woman up. Lift your titties up and put on that bra. Because how are you not checking the situation? Y'all can feel how you feel, but she should have been there. That's her people. I don't think it's necessary to leave people alone to converse if they are your family and it's your spouse. You don't want to leave that alone. You want to be able to monitor that and make sure that it goes in the right direction. For some of you who are like, well, they're grown, so they should be able to. Well, when you're in a relationship, there are people in your life that you only deal with because they are important to your spouse. So it is up to you to make it a certain type of way. So I just felt like Shay should have sat there and checked it, because as we're going to see later on, how she's acting towards her mom after isn't on the side of someone who's forgiving. And Shay says she's going to have to choose, between her mom and Fabo. Why? He's the problem. Go ahead, James. He's the problem.
When she said that, I was floored. Because there is not a motherfucker walking that I would have loved that could do that shit to my mama. There's no fucking way. And I am tired of y'all ignorant ass people online talking about, well, they both grown and she ain't innocent. It doesn't fucking matter. That's somebody's mom at the end of the day. And she didn't say anything to him that would have warranted that fucking behavior. Him and Gunplay both. Because also, old girl's mom didn't say anything either. But just pointed out the fact that she dislikes somebody and that's her choice.
Listen, just because you hear what you don't like don't mean you got a right
don't
to
mean you got a right
somebody.
Boom, exactly.
And that's what Fabo did.
And I'm tired of y'all motherfuckers who angry at your own mama that want to go ahead and disrespect someone else's mama.
That's right.
I am tired of y'all. Because the thing about it is, Fabo, that lady did not say anything to you that would have warranted you to chest up on her as if she was just some dude on the street that you can whoop.
I want security to step aside next time and let this individual sink himself. Because sometimes security be pulling apart. No. Let him do what he has to do. Because Shay is too dog stupid to do anything about it. She's not a woman. A real
and that
woman
makes me sad
would do something
because we saw her on Iyanla. We saw how the relationship with her and her mother is. It was completely distasteful, but still, there's no way in hell that I wouldn't have went to jail that day over my mom. I wouldn't care what our relationship was like. There's no way.
She was crazy. She was walking back and saw him over her and doing all of that.
I know she saw. She can claim she didn't see the shit all she wants to. I know she saw that shit.
Listen, unless your mama said it and found it to be okay for you to be molested or raped or sold you for a piece of crack or something, there ain't no reason, Shay. Ain't no reason. There's people who would love to have their parents around to meet their spouse. You know, there's people I know who don't have their parents. I know people who are now technically orphaned. Both of their parents are deceased and we're only 30. Like, it's like, my goodness. And so to see her just allow, like, I don't even talk to my mom, y'all. I've spoken about this. I do not speak to her. We are estranged, but I don't play about my mama. And she knows that. My siblings know that. I won't let nobody disrespect her. She won't let nobody disrespect me. Our problems is our problems, but the rest of you motherfuckers don't respect us. That's just how it is with family.
The way his disposition was towards her. Like, I couldn't get that out of my head when I was watching that.
He's
it was the way
comfortable.
He chested up on her. And it makes me feel like, Shay, are you really okay at the end of this song?
That's what the comments are saying.
There's no way
you're okay, Shay, because
because there's no way I'm looking at you and seeing this man do this, that he has not done this to you, or maybe even worse.
Child.
I'm not saying, because that was crazy to me. And the thing about it is, it's not, unfortunately, it is not uncommon. I have seen this behavior before by the same ethnicity of that man, the kind of black that he is. I have seen it before.
Yeah.
Yes.
Listen, somebody I know is dating somebody who has family from Jamaica. And unfortunately, I know that the guy's brother, he actually cornered a friend of mine while she was in Starbucks to tell her basically, we don't like you and all of this. He was in her face. She called me in tears. And the guy that she's dated, he's all, I mean, when I say you could just tell this person like looks at women in general as if they are beneath
angry at their moms. They're angry.
Yeah. And he has said that's my culture. So she's either going to fall in line because she knew that before she got with me, or she's going to be handled.
I don't know why in that culture of people, why women are looked at as beneath, or or just low down to the ground when you need them for nurturing and bearing of your children and everything.
I mean, there's a lot of cultures like that.
There is, and the thing about it is, because we'll be here all night talking about this shit. But I just want to say, I'm just sick of y'all motherfuckers who are angry at your mamas to always take that shit out on other people's mamas. That is fucking ridiculous. Grow the fuck up. She just said, I don't want you marrying my daughter.
He has
and that's
a plan.
Her right.
He has, in my opinion, Fabo know what he's doing. I think he has a plan and idea of what he's doing with Shay.
Using her for this TV show.
It's obvious he's using her. No shade to Shay, but Shay kind of got a reputation like Bambi, where...
No, Shay has a reputation where you could tell the absent life of a man, whether that was her father or somebody who did not raise her, affects her because she continues to choose men who are vacant and empty-hearted. Like, I just cannot fathom the thought that you looked at this man whenever you dated him, because I don't believe that.
Well, she already looks stupid. Just because you have a baby with a man doesn't mean he's gonna want to marry you. You should have fucking thought about that shit before you had.
You should have married her. Yeah, exactly. And why you didn't marry Shay before you had that baby?
Because he don't want to. He doesn't want to. Or maybe
that's the problem with some of y'all motherfuckers, and that's what I be talking about. Y'all really got shit twisted. Y'all really do. So it's okay to make somebody a baby mama, but it ain't okay to marry her after she had the baby.
And women will defend that up and down. I thought it doesn't matter what you thought. What were the facts before you? That's what you go off of.
We can have kids. We can have a baby, but we gonna do it in the order of operations here. We not finna sit up here and just... I'm just saying, we're not finna do that. It's an order of operations here, code of conduct. Marriage, home, baby. Now, if we want to buy the home first before you get married, we could do that. But marriage, home, baby.
Yeah,
and that baby gonna come, and you see I got 3 fingers up. That means we got to be in this house that we bought and married for at least 3 years before we even talk about that. No, we're not gonna do that. And I said at least. I didn't say before. I said at least, meaning that it would take 5 to 10.
I got married after 3.5 years of being together.
And you still got no baby. So you still got no baby. And that's exactly my point. There is no way I'm breaking my code of conduct. Well, I can't. Well, my situation different. But I'm just saying, ladies, have a code of conduct. And realistically, that time is for you to watch and pay attention.
And if you don't believe it, just look at statistics. There are qualitative and quantitative studies, specifically in psychology, that I've written long fucking papers on that show you certain things about dating, about, marriage specifically. They actually say that having children, if you have a 50-50 shot of the relationship working, when you have a kid, that 50-50 turns to like a 90% chance of it not working and 10% chance that you do. That's why
because the relationship has now become complicated. And that's
because now the attention has to go to the child. So if you don't spend the time, and it takes
not only does it go to the child, but the problem is that when women have a child, they forget to take care of themselves in the way that they're used to taking care of others. And I think that that's the problem with this country, is because women get scrutiny over that. Women get scrutiny over taking care of themselves first and then taking their child, which is it should be. It doesn't matter. My mom always took care of herself first. We fell in line. So if my mom did what she wanted to do, but took care of us at the same time. It has to be a balance. You have to take care of yourself first at all times.
Because like what they tell you, put on your oxygen tank first. And then
it's the same logic. And that's the same logic when you get a relationship. Take care of you first, then you take care of, and it has to be a balance. I take care of you, you take care of me. If I cannot do it, you need to do it. If you cannot do it, then I need to do it. It has to be a balance. And the problem with a lot of women like Shay, I'm gonna call her Shay for now because I have to talk directly to her. I can't call her Bucky anymore. That ain't funny. The problem with Shay is that she's not even seeking for balance. She's just seeking for a vacant space. And that is so dangerous, because then you end up in situations like this, that if he did it to your mama, he gonna do it to you next, or if he ain't already did it.
Oh, I guarantee she's dealing with stuff.
I'm just saying that to me looks like abusive relationship.
It's going to be.
Your mama. Yeah, he tried your mama as the example that if he ain't did it yet, he's gonna do it next. That's what I'm just saying.
Also with abusive relationships, they start out good, they start out smooth sometimes for a couple of years, and they isolate you from your loved ones, and they do it in different ways. He may suddenly have a beef and can't get along with your mom over something small and stupid like a dog that he agreed to. Now suddenly he's making a problem. I feel like he's trying to isolate her from her mom and brothers so that he can do whatever the hell he wants with her. And I don't care. I think Mama D knows it. That's probably why she's so against it. You know, Shay has to grow the fuck up. She ran off and away from Iyanla, and it obviously she needed it. So do better, Bucky. The next scene we have is Shay and Gunplay again. We're in their house. We see Gunplay sitting at the table, watching his phone, eating cereal like a fucking 15-year-old, but he's laughing erratically. Like you can tell he's not sober. If you know, you know. Like he's laughing erratically. So he's laughing hella loud and stuff. She walks in and, you know, she asked him about what happened with her mother because we have another man on this show disrespected a female. And, you know, she tells him his actions were problematic. She says that he needs to apologize and stop drinking. And he said, and I'm not even going to waste that much time, y'all, on this because what he said, I ain't going to stop drinking, but I could slow down. Look up addiction and alcoholics and things that they say. A 24-year-old girl who grew up privileged and sheltered, which Shay did, does not know what to do with a manic and erratic alcoholic who has been on the earth multiple decades more than she has existed. And some may say she's getting a doctorate in criminal justice. Just because you learn stuff in school, the actual useful things that you learn come from existing and just going throughout life and living in the real world. She has not had a chance to do that. She was sheltered until she got with him, and now she's with him. This little girl does not have the ability to support.
Which makes me wonder about her educational structure. And what I mean by the educational structure is because a lot of people don't know when you study law and when you actually go as far as she did, they actually teach you how to think. So to me, I feel like there's a part of her that is abandoning her instincts because she's been taught to study. So I think there's a part of her that resents this education. And the only reason why I say that is because she's not thinking rationally, which you're taught to do. I have taken a lot of criminal justice classes. Like I said, I am a biology major, but part of biology is you try to percolate into a career that really does pay. Forensic science is one in the government. And when I tell you that she's not thinking with the education, I know what classes she's taken. They teach you so many critical thinking skills that to me, I feel like there's a part of her that resents this education, even though she's still going forward. And her marrying Gunplay may actually validate my point.
I don't think it has to do. I don't think she resents her education. I just think the girl was. I think it's more about her parents than it is the education. She seems passionate about her major study, which leads me to believe she's happy with that. I think her parents in that situation with this man, I feel like she's staying in it with Gunplay because she doesn't want to go back to her parents and hear the.
Let me explain something to you because we've been above heads. You can still resent something and still be happy with it at the same time. Two things can be true.
I just don't think it's that deep with her with the school.
I do, and the reason why I think it is because the problem is that yes, she is. We said she's a rebel, right? We're going with the fact that she's rebelling against her parents and everything of that. So the fact that she's getting this education and is being trained to think with critical thinking, she's hearing this man who is her husband go through all of these signs of alcoholism, abuse. And you mean to tell me that she feels in her mind with critical thinking, now that she has a baby, that this environment is safe and that she is not putting herself in harm? You don't think that there's just a thought process in there where she's studying the exact same thing that could put you in jail? if an
I
accident
think
goes out of
just
course.
as someone who sees people's studies, go see doctors, therapists, all the above, lawyers, we have a bunch of those in my family. They can be trained in something and still be living an entirely different way. It's separate, and people don't often understand that. So I feel like she's probably does have skills of critical thinking and stuff that she got from school, but those skills that they teach you to have are taught to you to use specifically with school. I feel like what you are right about is having a baby, I think, forces people to grow up and mature. So having a baby has probably caused her to look at him like, you know, because without school, you don't need school or any training on critical thinking to look at how he drinks and acts when he drinks to figure out like something's wrong. But I do think that Vanshay having that baby and her parents not rescuing her, which we know because she had to make a GoFundMe and the way that she probably thought that they would, I feel like all of her choices, she's being forced to confront. I just don't think it's that deep because most people who go
I
to
think it
school
is
for fields
because
are taught you have to separate that. There's doctors living at home with alcoholics and drug addicts, and look at Marie from the Bell Collective. She's
but
trained in
see,
mental
but the
health.
thing about it is what we're talking about is resenting your craft. We're not talking about your life studies
She
of
gotta
where
practice
you
it
are.
first though to resent it. Like she thinks she knows, but we really don't know what we got from
Maybe you
college.
have a okay, so
Real.
maybe saying it that way, I see what you're saying, and
Yeah.
maybe time will tell that. But I don't know. Something in me feels like this was not her set path, and
Well,
that
that's
she
clear.
said that no, I'm not talking about gunplay. I'm talking about getting the education and then coming back. I
Oh
really feel
no.
like
Her
this is
parents, she
something
made that clear. Her parents are the ones who are like
because that
education,
brother's in that secret service. That's
education,
why I said there's
education.
resentment. Yeah,
Mhm.
there's resentment in there, and this is like, and she knows she can't rebel fully. She can't, drop out of school because she's so close. So and that's why
Listen,
I'm saying that's what I said. There has to be some sort of resentment there. I
we
get you
need
not
to
seeing it,
put
but yeah.
sex ed in like job trainings because if it's
We
really taking y'all bringing a whole person into the world to figure out that the person you're with is not for
not
you,
for you. Yeah, that's crazy to
then
me
like
because
that,
you could have.
like we can analyze it to the end
Because
of
then, what
time.
was the courting like? I need Von Shay to do an interview. What was the courting like?
Not what
Like,
was the courting like.
what was the appeal? How was the
Let me tell
dating
you what the
scene
appeal
like?
was. I got a girl I know in Redwood City, California. Now, for those who aren't familiar with the Bay Area, that is a very nice area. It's next to Atherton. It's next to Menlo Park, which is where Facebook and all the billionaires are. It is a nice area. It's next to Palo Alto. I'm trying to tell you, I had a girl that I know who grew up in Redwood City. This girl has an obsession. My husband will tell you when we went to hang out with these people, it's like they talk about, oh yeah, we got in the car and we rode around, and then this guy, he's from EPA and he asked us to do this, so we're fucked up, we do this, get arrested, do this. Like they're chasing the idea of being hood, and these are not Caucasian people, for my African American people watching, who trying to be with it. This is just someone who is of Hispanic and African American. One of them is Jamaican actually origin, and they didn't grow up in the hood. They didn't grow up with struggle. They grew up with parents with great jobs in the same homes, and they went to beautiful schools, and they had all the things they could want in life. They'll have to pay rent. All they talk about, they literally sabotage themselves, going to jail, doing stuff, trying to be like their idea of what someone in the hood would be like. I feel like Von Shay probably did not get courted by Gunplay and just got flirted with and took that shit and was like, oh, he's really about it. He lived this life. And I'm telling you, that girl chasing something that she has no idea about. I feel like Von Shay, she reminds me of them girls I went to private school with, the black girls who
No, I
had
get what
good
you're saying.
parents but
I get
wanted to
what you're
like,
saying.
she's just,
I get what you're saying, but at the same time, it makes me it's hard to believe in. No, I'm not saying not hard to believe. That's probably not the correct term I'm using. I guess it fathoms me that this, and that's why I said it. If you guys don't watch my Real Housewives of Salt Lake City video, I said this there, and I'm gonna say it here. Parents, especially mothers, you do your child a disservice when you, not necessarily handicap, but when you coddle them to this extent, to where life experiences that you're fearful of what they will have end up showing up because you're not making them aware that they are there. All children need to know is that these lives exist. They don't need to experience them. They don't need to, you don't need a bite the donut to know that it's sweet. You could just have to look at it and tell.
Yeah.
That's one of the things my mom has always taught me, is to be able to understand what exactly I'm looking at. I may not know the story, I may not know the ramifications, but be very clear about what you're looking at. And that goes for people too, which is why I've never fell into the cracks or never felt pressured to do the things that she was with me in high school. I've never felt under the pressure to do what some of our friends did. Because my mom always told me, look at it, see what it is, though you want no parts of it.
Yeah,
so that's what
Shay, I think that's the difference though between kids who grow up privileged and those who grow up, I guess we'll just say regular, traditional, things like that. She has to.
Her mom tried to shelter her away from that other side of the tracks.
A lot of times, these privileged kids have parents that shelter him because it makes sense when you have all the money in the world. If you didn't grow up that way, they're in their mind.
Yeah, it makes sense that you want to keep them away from it, so you alienate them from thinking that it exists. But nothing is never too far in your reach. I'm sorry, there's nothing in this life that is too far in your reach.
That should be like a story taught in like high school, sex ed, taught to young girls about.
It doesn't. No, it needs to be taught at home where it actually has a humbling space in your heart.
It needs to be taught at home, but sadly, a lot of what needs to get taught at home doesn't get taught at home, regardless of, statute, income, any of that. So that's why I feel like they got all. When I became an adult, I always say we were taught all the wrong things in high school specifically. Maybe not, middle and elementary, because we need to know how to read and write and all that bullshit. But in high school, they should have been teaching us about credit scores and balancing checkbooks and reading people, having an understanding of different things.
Shout out to Ms. Drybray at Mount Eden High School for teaching us that.
I barely passed her class.
Yes, because it
was like a college course.
It was a college course. It was very much a college course. And she actually had a high school project where we had to go actually bring her a copy of a lease agreement. We had to go, not open a checking account, but actually get a check account and understand all that. It was like a project. Like our high school teacher, English teacher, that's what she did. She taught us the values of that. I think one person even went as far as to, see what a home loan interest rate was. It was crazy. So no, and that kind of teaching in schools are not taught anymore, or probably never was. So she was just one of a kind.
Yeah.
She really was. She was one of a kind. And I appreciate her to this day because a lot of the things that she has taught me, I still do to this day.
She taught me how to do a reverse chronological resume. Miss Drybray.
Yes, that was another thing. Yes.
That was our project the year that I did it. So I was like, I was glad because I didn't want to do what you had to do. I did not. People used to be sprinting to that class because she wouldn't let you in if you were late. You couldn't get it was
about ordinance, and that's what that's what you have to teach kids. I don't have kids yet, but you have to teach your kids ordinance. Every choice you make has a consequence. She used to say that shit every day, and it was stuck in my head. Every choice. So if you late, the door gets locked.
There's another teacher at Mount Eden like that, Mr. Kramer and Miss Drybray, though. They were both in J Hall, and they both taught.
Yeah, they started together. Yeah. My mom had Miss Drybray when she was in high school.
Oh hell! So she probably ain't teaching no more. That's what's wrong with them kids in Hayward. I get your asses inside, badass kids. If y'all could come to the Bay Area, these kids are rebelling. Just a bunch of Von Shays running around. It's stressing us out. They tear it up the Bay. Listen. They had me in jury duty with some kid. I said, "Oh my God, they're everywhere, just running a damn muck." Anyway. We're going to see more. They showed us with Love and Hip Hop with Vache and Gunplay. It looks like they filmed the situation that we seen happen recently online when he pulled the gun on her and the baby. So, you know, and I think that's also important to see. Gunplay is similar to Fabo. And look what happened with him. Pulled a gun, was hitting on that girl. So Shay, seriously, people talk shit, but they want you to be okay. Get away from Fabian, please.
No, we want you to be okay, but also seek therapy. And when the therapist calls you out on your shit, the same way Iyanla did,
Don't
that
go
is
up.
not for you to get defensive about. That is for you to understand and say, okay, damn, because that was I think what it was when she went on Iyanla, she didn't think Iyanla was gonna correct her. She thought Iyanla was gonna correct her mama. And
Yep.
see, that's the problem.
That's exactly what
And that's the problem right there. You are not exempt from correction because you're an adult. It'd be different if you were a kid and she was bringing that to your attention. No,
Yes.
you are an adult just like your mama's old. The same flaws that your mama has, you have as well. So the problem is I want her to seek therapy because she continues to put herself in positions with these men that are not safe for her mental and now what we understand possibly potential allegedly physical. So that's where I'm just saying it bothers me. The same thing with Vanshay. Vanshay, I get you needed to have an experience that you were never taught, that you were shied away from when you were growing up, because it's obvious that's what happened.
Mm-hmm.
As I said, like she said in Sister Act 2, the little nun, you don't have to bite a donut to know that it's sweet.
Yeah.
So and I always live by that saying because that is so true. Some things are self-explanatory. You can look at Gunplay and see that it is self-explanatory of what you're going to
go. That young, and that's the problem. And it goes to his other point of sheltering your kids, because when you're that young and you've been sheltered, you can know that a donut is sweet, but you're going to doubt yourself and question it. And
that's take the bite anyway.
Yeah.
That's the point. That is the point, is to use the part of your brain that is called discernment. That's what the term is, you know, if we're putting into a context, because I forgot what the actual medical term for that part of your brain. It's not a subconscious. That a lot of people think that's what that is. No, a subconscious is basically your inability of feeling. That is what a subconscious is. Discernment is different. It's using the intellect of your mind to determine what your eyes see. And not questioning any kind of doubt that it could look like something else. You know what a mountain looks like. It is not questionable whether it's a hill. It is a mountain. If you see it as a mountain, it is a mountain. If you see that that's water, it is water. You don't need to go to it. You don't need to touch it. Understand that that's what it is and it serves a purpose.
See, lessons. So hopefully people start to do better with their discernment in the choice of these men, because y'all all need that. Moving it along. The next thing we see, this will be quick. Trick Daddy and the twins. They meet up again. This time they're in the studio. He's trying to help them. And okay, so I'm confused. They got their little stuff on TikTok, but they never recorded the song. Now I know you can use like BandLab and
yeah, that's what that sounded like to me.
Different apps and stuff to record songs from your phone. I actually have an artist, shout out to B Money, records on her phone and then sends it to someone to mix and master for her music. I do song reviews too, by the way. If you know somebody who does music, hit me up. Girl,
put that plug in. Put that plug in. It's a great time, y'all.
Yes, I'm now charging also for reaction videos, and you guys have been paying to skip the line.
I saw that. I want to be a guest. Let me know when you do it again.
He said, I want to be a guest. You could be a guest whenever you want. Whenever you want. So we see them in the studio, y'all, and they suck. That's it. I'm not gonna waste my time. They suck. They was trash. They rapped worse than Young Miami, and everybody know Young Miami can't rap. She knows she can't rap. Like, I was listening to the song, and I'm like, there's no bars. Like, I get it. And right now in rap, female rap is popular to talk about your pussy and having a nigga here and having a nigga there and getting money and all of that. I get that, right? I listen to it. I love me. My husband will tell you I listen to it and he just be looking at me like, why? But
it just
Lotto proved she could rap. She proved she could rap. Megan Thee Stallion got on that Thizzler cypher back in 2020. She proved that she could rap, did better than every nigga on there. All these female artists who are
I
out
feel
prove
like
they can actually rap.
the problem with these ladies, and I've said this many a time, rapping is about understanding that your brain cannot beat your mouth. You have to think about the words that you are saying before you actually begin, and it's about the flow. A lot of times, people's tone and their accent battle each other. And that's what we were seeing with these young ladies, is that it didn't flow because, one, they're not thinking about the words that they're saying. That was obvious because I was looking at them like, okay.
This is what we have to
Two,
deal with.
yeah, and two, I think it was Deja. I can't. I don't remember which one it was because I didn't. When she tried to do her little thing, it was like, "Baby, what are you saying?" And then she mispronounced. Oh shit, I forgot the word already. But I was looking at her. I was like, I'm not gonna go there.
Okay. Listen, there's people you could tell they don't practice.
Yeah,
Rappers, any craft, whether it's writing as James does, check out his book Fraternity Row. I will include a link in the description. I need to start doing that. But whether it's rapping, whether it's writing, I write poetry. I also write music and do some other shit, saying no matter what you do, you have to practice your craft or you will not be better. You will not get better.
Some rappers, I need y'all to take speech therapy.
Yes.
Take speech therapy. It's not a bad thing. I actually thinking about going back to speech. I did speech therapy when I was 24. I'm thinking about doing it again because there's still words I still struggle with. So I'm thinking about doing it again.
I'm going to be taking it later in the year, actually, on a serious note, because my husband keeps asking me to sing on stuff. I had my tonsils removed and a hernia surgery that involved my vocal cords. So it changed how I've been accustomed to singing my entire life. Now it's this like light, smaller voice when it used to be like soulful and big. And so I'm like, I have to go back to vocal training because I don't understand what to do with the voice that I have now.
I have to do speech therapy because I mispronounce word. Like, it's starting to get bad as I'm getting older, and I don't know why that is happening. So I'm actually going to go back to speech therapy and try to render my voice because I'm going to be doing interviews again. I'm trying to get my next book out. There's lots of things that I have coming up, and I don't want to sound a fool. And I'm also going to think about doing the media training too.
So if it makes you feel better, according to psychology, linguistic patterns, once people get to middle adulthood, which you should be in if you're past 33, they actually start to change and the neurotransmitters weaken. So it's normal to struggle more, and speech therapy will help you.
I'm aware of this, which is
he's like, yay.
I study I study life all the time. I know exactly what's going on.
I'm just happy that you're actually doing something about it, because a lot of people go through that. Like,
I can't. No, I refuse. I feel like if she knew me when I was 18 and 19, I was using words that nobody. When people referred to me in high school, people are like, "What is he saying?" Like, I forgot who it was. I said the word recapitulate, and thank you, Miss Drybray. But they were like, the hell does that mean? I said, repeat yourself. They were like, why you just didn't say that? I'm like, I don't know. That's just my mindset. But I just use some big words.
If you know the word, use it. And if someone asks you, do like James and share it. Now you've helped someone to be a little bit more intelligent. You've done a service.
That person didn't look at it that way. I'm not going to say her name because I know she watches us. But yeah.
Oh, well, whatever. Listen. Good for you. But overall, them twins in that studio, that's how we got into talking about language patterns and shit. I don't even think speech therapy will help them. I just don't think they have it.
Will.
I think they're cute and probably got popular doing a little TikTok rap, and we're like, we could do it for real, because they probably think Ice Spice, she got famous on social media. A lot of people, Sexy Red, famous on social media. Cardi B, even before Love and Hip Hop, famous from social media.
Y'all gonna stop doing.
Y'all are not all Cardi B.
Y'all gotta understand, people. God's timing. Things happen in God's timing, and sometimes one way isn't the way for all. So find an avenue.
Listen, Asia and Deja, I hope you have a day job, or at the very least a backup plan or a plan to practice, because right now it's not it, honey. It's not. Y'all talk about coming for Trina's spot. I listened to a lot of Trina in high school. We are the generation of Trina's prime, the people hosting the show right now. And I can tell you that lady can rap. She could change a flow.
Let me explain something to you. Whether she rapping or talking, Trina can say 75 words per minute, and she proved that. So we're not going to sit up here and act as if y'all could do the same. So that was the wrong comparison. Y'all needed to come for one of these younger girls who ain't got it. I'm just saying. Anybody that could speak words and pronounce them correctly going 75 miles per hour with their mouth, I'm sorry. That is a talent that is beyond.
Yeah, because even Ice Spice quickly said, bitch, I'm about to do what I want. Quickly. You have to be able to speak. But these girls have no talent, in my opinion. We'll see. Next scene we get is MJ, who is Shay's brother, meeting up with Sandra, who is Shay's mother. So she called her son. I heard the fuck out of that, Sandra. Listen, if I had a son and somebody is disrespecting me, who's a man, I'm calling him. When men have disrespected me before, I'm the queen of it. You better ask somebody, are you sure you want to go there? No, because I don't like your energy. And if we're gonna talk in this tone or with this aggression, I'd like to FaceTime my husband so that you can talk to him instead of me. Like, I'm the queen of calling. I got 2 brothers, hella cousins, and a husband. I'm calling somebody. You better believe it if these men disrespect me. And that's the thing. And that's what worries me with Fabo. And we touched on this before, because I feel like because he knows that Shay is not the closest and her traumas are public with her mother and her family, he knows what he's doing. He's trying to go for that, because any other female would have called somebody, or a dad or somebody would have stepped in. You seen Vonshay's dad, he was ready to have gunplay's neck. I'm trying to tell you. So I think Fabo knows what he's doing. So she calls her son, and obviously MJ's mama's boy, but I don't blame him. Defend your mama, because she was disrespected. She tells MJ of the meeting with Fabo, how security had to keep him off of her. And all I could think is, MJ, you're attractive. I really wish you'd take off that hat. You got on the hat that my cousin Johnny used to wear to the family reunions. And my cousin Johnny is an older cousin. He's like 70. So I need him to stop with that damn hat. I've had it with the hat. But the mom tells him of it, and she basically ends up saying that Shay sent her a nasty text message. So Shay acted like a fugazi ass broad again. She goes on to the confessional and says, fixes her fucking mouth to say, he did disrespect my mom. I'm going to have to address that. Then says, but I'm going to have to choose. And obviously she's chosen the side of her baby daddy from what we know thus far from the episode, because the mom says she got that nasty text message from Shay, and Shay says that she wants some space. And then her mama starts crying. I was madder than I was cursing at the TV. Like, I know these people. Do what you got to do, MJ. That's what I would say. Because Shay, I saw that Shay's getting serious hate online. And
I did too.
She deserves it.
And I'm not mad at her. I'm not mad at anybody
How dare
that
you?
to troll, because it was like, look, we get your mama was not the most nurturing to you. We get that your brothers probably got more of the attention than you did. We get it. We understand it all. But you only get one mother.
Mm-hmm.
And the point of it being is that she can be dead and gone tomorrow. And you will always reap that, what you say and what you do, and you can never take it back. So you need to be very careful and think about this, because you got that disposable ass man over there that could be gone and leave you in a second. What you do
that you paying for. If you were doing all of this for a nigga that was paying for something or the bills and that could support you, fine. But according to Mama D, he broke. So I think it just makes a bad situation worse that you're doing all of this, fighting with your family over a man that if you go on vacation or go off to work, you're going to have to call Domino's and send over one of them 5 for $5 medium pepperonis to him, because he's not going to swipe his own card. Fabo he's not much of a man. But basically, that's what we see. We're going to find out more of what happened with them next week. I don't want to get into the Fable thing again because we almost at the end of this recap, and I do have a song review after. But he's trash, and I hope MJ texts him. I think that's pretty much all I could say. So the next thing we see is SAFAREE. He goes to the Dominican Republic to see Amada. Fake ass scenes. He says she has an attitude. They start to argue. And it ends with her throwing a drink on him. And then he walks away, calling her a bird. And she is kind of a bird. Amada get with men as soon as she sleep with them is, oh, you're my boyfriend. Now I need you to act like you're my husband. And it's the same thing. And SAFAREE, he's a bird also. So
I was just going to say that. I'm all like, look, two birds that don't belong together, playing your nest. Shut up.
Yeah. So that's all we're going to say about that. Listen, I know some of y'all like these shows and you're invested, but we have to understand that reality TV is not 100% reality. Never has been, never will be. But these Amara and SAFAREE and Ray J and Princess's storylines are insufferable. And I'm just like not going to go over it too much. So they got into it. You guys can follow the Shade Room. Shout out to them. I follow them. They reported on it. They posted it. You can share your opinions with the roommates or on Hollywood Unlocked somewhere. When that girl made that video talking about she did what she has to do in her job and not to believe everything that we see, I believed her. So I don't buy the storyline. And it's also like, this has been your boyfriend for 2 seconds. Why are you guys having an argument this heated? Like,
that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm not engaging with.
I'm not doing it.
It's bullshit.
Thank you to everybody who's watching either now or if you're watching the live replay, because I get a lot of views after I'm done being live. And I love you for it, because if y'all was all here while I was live, I'd be nervous and mess it up. But I appreciate everybody for tuning in, everybody for watching. We will continue, as always, to cover Love and Hip Hop Miami. The next recap we will have will be next week. I'm not sure if it'll be on Tuesday or Wednesday, because I next week I have Basketball Wives Orlando and Basketball Wives in addition to this show, and they both air on the same day. I don't know why VH1 is putting all their shows on Monday and Tuesday. Just what about the rest of the week? But we will figure it out. It's probably going to be Wednesday, because you have Salt Lake City too, don't you?
I have. So I think how we discussed it is that we'll do Basketball Wives Tuesday, and then we'll do Salt Lake City and Love and Hip Hop Wednesday.
Okay, that makes sense.
I think that's how we discussed it. So yeah, y'all, we'll be back Tuesday for Basketball Wives, both Orlando and LA. I'm excited for Orlando because I feel like I only know 2 out of the 7 women, so I think that that's going to be cool. Basketball Wives LA can hang up to dry because I don't like none of them.
Just recapping it because that was the show that started our recaps. Really.
It did. It started the recap. Yeah, we've been talking about this for years and finally did it. I'm excited to get to House of Villains, which it premieres the next Saturday. I'm excited because
they did a sneak peek already.
I saw that. Y'all, when I tell y'all I don't like half that cast, I am excited. So that's gonna be on my channel, watching my previews. Make sure you guys subscribe to me if you want to catch my commentary on it, because House of Villains, that's a mess. So yes.
You guys can also find all of the recaps that I do in the playlist. They are separated based on the show. The recaps that are on the Watch Your Mouth Reviews channel will say next to them Watch Your Mouth Reviews. If you like what you see from his channel, go ahead and click the subscribe button. We do want to support each other as creators. But other than that, we will have a song review in about 40 minutes. I'm going to see if I can get Mr. Best to feed my belly. And I'm hungry as hell. James saw me eating some bacon and toast at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Anywho, I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Remember to keep your comments respectful to each other. Otherwise, I will delete them. And good night. Thank you, James.
Thank you for having me. Love you. See you later.
Love you, folks.